Consider this question deeply before responding. When was the final occasion you experienced absolute quietness and truly perceived silence? Not that faint, high toned whine existing behind your ears, not that quiet, constant buzzing that feels ingrained within your skull, not the ringing present when waking at 2 a.m. and still active when your buzzer sounds. I mean genuine, literal stillness. If you're viewing this, you likely struggle to recall that sensation. Here is what you must grasp immediately before we continue. That noise isn't accidental, it isn't merely aging, and it is definitely not something you must just tolerate and live with forever. That sound is your system delivering a highly specific, very pressing alert. The issue isn't that the data is vague. The issue is that many professionals aren't taught to decode it. What you hear is a dietary distress alarm. Your hearing system, the neurons, the vessels, the tiny hair sensors deep inside your cochlea are running empty. Your brain, clever and hopeful as it is, has begun creating sound to fill a void. Today I'm going to translate that alert for you. We will examine precisely what your system lacks, why standard care misses it, and what you can do starting tonight to begin lowering the intensity of that inner sound. My name is Dr. Lana. I study wellness and longevity for seniors. I have spent years researching one of the most overlooked links in geriatric health, the connection between what you consume and how your nervous system functions. Please stay tuned because what I am sharing could transform your sleep, your thoughts, and how you feel every quiet second for the rest of your life. Consider a person named Gloria, 71 years old, a retired educator, mentally sharp, witty, and vibrant. She visited me about 14 months ago, and her opening words upon sitting down were, "Doctor, I feel as if a television is stuck on inside my head without a remote." She had endured tinnitus for almost 4 years. She had consulted 2 specialists. She received a white noise device, a counselor referral for coping, and a pamphlet regarding hearing aids. Not once had someone sat with her and asked, "Gloria, what is your diet? What are your mineral levels? How is your blood flow?" When I requested a full nutritional analysis for her, what we discovered was entirely expected by me and totally startling to her. She was severely lacking in 3 vital nutrients. Her inflammation markers were high. Blood flow to her inner ear was restricted, and her nervous system was basically malfunctioning. This was not a hearing defect. This was a biological infrastructure failure. Now, here is the most important part. Within 11 weeks of fixing those gaps, Gloria returned to my office and remarked, "It remains, but it's like someone finally lowered the volume." By month 5, she called it a soft whisper rather than a shout. That isn't luck. That is nutritional science performing exactly as intended. Let's explore how. To understand why specific gaps cause ear ringing, you need a quick tour of the most fragile biological tool in your whole body. Inside your inner ear, located deep within your skull, is a fluid-filled area called the cochlea. Picture it like a small snail shell. Lining that chamber are thousands of microscopic sensory units. We call these hair cells. Each one of these units translates vibrations into electrical pulses that your brain perceives as sound. Now, here's the vital part. Each hair cell is nourished by one of the smallest blood vessels in your entire frame. A path so slim that red blood cells must move through it literally one by one. A single hair strand is thick by comparison. When that blood flow is hindered, when it's slow, swollen, or missing key nutrients, those hair cells don't simply stop. They start malfunctioning. They begin sending stray, chaotic electrical pulses to your brain. Your brain, because it is programmed to find meaning, views those stray signals as sound. That is the ringing. That is the buzz. That is the frequency that won't stop. Research appearing in the Journal of Neurological Sciences has demonstrated something notable. Tinnitus isn't just an ear glitch. It's a glitch in the brain's power to mute the error data it receives. When the ear sends bad signals long enough, the brain stops filtering them and treats the noise as standard. This is known as auditory cortex adaptation, and it's why this state feels so fixed. Your brain has literally mapped itself around the sound. But here is the positive part. The brain is adaptable. It can map itself back if we provide the correct building blocks. Before we start, take a moment to post a greeting. Share your name and your location. I read every post and want to know who I'm assisting today. Now, let's start the list. Deficiency 1, Magnesium, the nervous system's mute button. Let's start with the one most people never link to hearing, magnesium. Here is what you must know about magnesium and your ears. Deep inside your cochlea, there are sensors called NMDA receptors. These sensors dictate how strongly your hearing nerve reacts. When magnesium is present in sufficient levels, it occupies those sensors and basically acts as a stopper, stopping them from overreacting. When magnesium is low, those sensors are wide open. Every noise, every vibration triggers a boosted neural fire. The gain is maxed out, and your brain, overwhelmed by constant static, starts creating its own sound to balance it. Experts call this glutamate excitotoxicity. I call it an auditory crash. The scary fact? Data shows that over 50% of seniors over 60 lack enough magnesium. This isn't because they avoid greens. It's because modern farm soil has been so stripped that magnesium in greens today is a fraction of 50 years ago. You could eat greens every single day and remain deficient. Here is something Gloria shared that gave me chills. She said, "My ringing is always peak on my most stressful days." That is classic magnesium loss. Stress chemicals actively drain magnesium from your cells. The more stressed you feel, the more drained you get, the louder the ringing becomes. The foods I told Gloria to eat for magnesium: dark greens, raw seeds, black beans, wild-caught fish, and avocado. Not as a pill, in a meal where the factors for uptake exist. Deficiency 2, vitamin B12. The shielding your nerves are needing. I want you to imagine an old power cord, perhaps one in an aged house that hasn't been fixed in decades. The rubber coating on the outside has cracked. It's peeling. When power flows through that wire, it doesn't move smoothly from start to finish. It leaks, it sparks, it makes noise. That is exactly what happens to your hearing nerve when your B12 levels are too low. Vitamin B12 is vital for keeping the myelin sheath, the protective coating that shields your nerve fibers. Without enough B12, that coating wears, and when the hearing nerve loses its shield, the electrical pulses it sends from your ear to your brain start leaking. Your brain doesn't see this as silence. It sees it as sound, a steady, ghost-like, irritating noise. Now here is what I need you to hear clearly, because this is where standard medicine fails people like Gloria every day. Typical blood tests flag a B12 gap around 200 picograms per milliliter. But research in functional neurology shows that nerve symptoms, including tinnitus, mental fog, and limb tingling, can start at levels under 400. In seniors, I seek levels between 600 and 900 before I am happy. Gloria's B12 was 310 when she saw me. Her doctor said it was in normal range. Here is the biological reason seniors are very vulnerable. As we age, our stomach makes less of a factor called intrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor is the protein allowing your gut to take B12 from food. Without it, you can eat beef and eggs and fish and still be hungry at a cellular level. This means many seniors need B12 in a way that skips the gut, like sublingual tablets or sometimes injections. Your doctor can help on what is right for your unique case. Food options that help: wild salmon, sardines, pasture eggs, shellfish, and nutritional yeast. If you are still here and find this useful, please type 2 in the comments. It shows me you are watching and finding value. Deficiency 3, zinc, the antioxidant shield your ear needs. Here's a fact that might surprise you. Your inner ear holds one of the highest levels of zinc of any tissue in your body. That isn't a fluke. The act of turning sound into electricity creates massive amounts of oxidative stress. Basically, it creates free radicals. Zinc is the main antioxidant wall guarding your cochlear hair cells from that damage. Without it, those cells age fast, fail, and start sending the ghost signals we mentioned. A major study in the American Journal of Otolaryngology found that patients with chronic tinnitus had much lower zinc levels than healthy peers. Supplementing with zinc led to clear changes in tinnitus levels for a large group of people. But here is the secret trap I see often with zinc. Absorption blocks, you might eat zinc-rich foods. Sure, seeds, beef, beans, nuts. But if you also eat high amounts of phytic acid from grains, or if you drink lots of coffee, you are actively stopping zinc from being taken in. You are nutritionally rich on paper, but poor in reality. I also must mention something rarely discussed. Some common pharmacy drugs, including some pain pills used often, can harm cochlear cells directly through oxidation. These are called ototoxic drugs. If you take long-term meds and have tinnitus, please talk with your doctor about potential ototoxic risks. This is a real and hidden factor. If this was helpful, consider sending this to a friend or relative dealing with tinnitus or hearing worries. Most people don't know how deeply minerals like zinc can guard the ear from lasting harm. A simple like helps more people find this info. Deficiency 4, vitamin D3, the repair boss nobody is calling. If magnesium is the switch, and B12 is the coating, and zinc is the shield, then vitamin D3 is the boss who makes sure the crews arrive. D3 isn't just a vitamin, it acts as a neurosteroid, a signal that directly manages gene activity in your nervous system, including the genes managing inflammation in your hearing path. When D3 is low, steady low-grade nerve swelling goes ignored. The small vessels feeding your ear stay tight, repair stops, and the hearing nerve under stress stays in a state of steady annoyance. More research, including studies from global universities, has found that adults with steady, annoying tinnitus have lower average D3 than those without. This gap is extremely common in seniors. Many older adults have low sun exposure. Add sunscreen, living up north, or being inside, and it is almost impossible to keep D3 high through sun alone. I suggest getting a 25-hydroxy vitamin D test. For nerve and immune health, I want levels between 50 and 80 nanograms per milliliter. Most people I see sit between 18 and 30 and we're told that's okay. It is not okay. Not for your hearing nerve. Food sources, fatty fish, yolks, and enriched foods. But for most seniors, careful sun exposure, about 15 to 20 minutes of morning sun on limbs several times weekly, is vital. Deficiency 5, omega-3 fats, greasing the path to your ears. Let me give one last piece of the puzzle that links everything. All the nutrients discussed, the magnesium, B12, zinc, D3, they must actually reach your inner ear to help. Remember those tiny vessels we mentioned, those thinner than hair? If your blood is thick, sticky, and full of swelling markers, common with age, poor diet, and stress, those nutrients get stuck. They never find the cochlea. They never find the nerve. Omega-3 fats, specifically EPA and DHA in fish, do two big jobs. First, they lower body-wide swelling, letting those tiny paths open and move blood easily. Second, they help cell membrane flexibility, including in the ear's hair cells, making them more reactive, sturdy, and capable of working right. Think of omega-3s as the oil keeping the hearing machine running. Gloria said she rarely ate fish. She took cheap oil from a big store for years, but oil quality varies greatly, and bad fish oil, which is common, adds to stress rather than fixing it. We moved her to a high-quality tested source and added 2 fish meals weekly. This was a turning point, the flow factor. We discussed nutrients, but I need one more layer. Circulation. Even if your nutrition is perfect, nothing reaches the ear without good blood movement. Here is the big problem for people over 60. Poor flow and nutritional gaps are a cycle. Low magnesium tightens vessels. Low D3 lets swelling hurt vessel walls. Low omega-3 makes blood thicker, and all this makes the tiny vessels of your ear the first to fail. There are 3 natural helpers, things that help relax and open paths that I use in my plans. First is ginger. Fresh ginger has gingerols and shogols shown to boost microcirculation. A bit of fresh ginger in water or food daily is a gentle, strong tool. Second is garlic. Allicin in fresh garlic helps keep blood moving easily through small paths. Raw or light-cooked garlic, maybe 2 cloves daily, is suggested. Third is ginkgo biloba, a top-studied helper for tinnitus. Reviews of trials found ginkgo extract made real changes in tinnitus, particularly when linked to ear circulation. It works by boosting tiny vessel flow. Please talk with your doctor before adding supplements, especially if on blood thinners, since ginkgo can interact. When we open the path and provide the materials, the ear starts to react. One thing I should explain that many miss: your ear has a clock. Your cochlea follows your daily rhythm. At night, your body starts a deep cell repair phase. Your hearing system is part of that cycle. Your hair cells try to fix themselves. Your nerve tries to re-insulate. Your brain tries to reset. But repair needs parts. If those parts, the magnesium, B12, zinc, D3, are not present when your body does night work, repair stalls. Your brain sees the unfinished job and boosts the error signal. This is why many people say the ringing feels louder in the evening and morning. Your body is trying to fix the issue, finding parts missing and sounding an alarm. This is why I stress your last meal. If you eat a nutrient-rich meal in the evening with the items your hearing needs, you are filling the internal pharmacy for the night shift. Think of it as prep before the crew arrives. So, let's get practical. Let me describe exactly what that meal looks like. This is the Auditory Rescue Plate. Start with a palm-sized wild salmon piece. This provides omega-3s, D3, B12, three big gaps filled in one item. Beside it, have a big pile of spinach and steamed broccoli. This covers magnesium and antioxidants to guard those hair cells from stress. Add a big handful of raw seeds on top. These are great zinc sources and have magnesium too, giving a double boost. Top it with olive oil, lemon, and fresh ginger. Your flow support working to open paths and keep things moving. On the side, half an avocado, more magnesium, good fats for uptake and swelling help. This isn't a hard meal. It takes under 25 minutes to make, and the bio benefit to your hearing is great. Gloria made this 4 to 5 times weekly after month 2. She told me, "Doctor, it's the first time food felt like medicine." That is exactly it. I want to be honest with you, like I wish more doctors were. This isn't an instant fix. Your nerve didn't get drained in a week and won't fix in a week. This is a slow, steady, logical way of filling a starved system and opening blocked paths. In my work, the first signs of change, a softer sound, a quiet moment, tend to show between weeks 3 and 7. Real gain often takes 3 to 4 months of steady help. But here is what I want to leave you with. That sound is not a life term. It is a signal. It is your body telling you something must change. The great thing about your body, even at 60, 70, or 80, is it still tries to heal. It still wants repair. Every night, your ear tries to rebuild. It just needs the items it has been requesting. So tonight, cook the fish, add greens, get the seeds, and start hearing your body differently. If this helped you see tinnitus in a new way, do one thing now. Share it with someone hurting in silence because millions were told there is no fix. We both know that's not true. Leave a comment. Mention how long you've had this sound. I read every one. Those stories guide my research and what I bring to you. I'll see you next time. Watch your hearing. It's how you stay linked to every voice, every sound, and every moment that makes life special.